Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And if you've never checked out our Patreon page, you're missing out on hundreds of recordings from both Fiona Clearwater and myself, available exclusively on Patreon. Make sure that you don't miss out. Now, please relax and get ready to enjoy this hypnotic experience. Before listening to this recording, please make sure that you're either sitting down or lying down in a comfortable position. Also, please note that this recording may be slightly unnerving and even a little scary to some listeners. Now that's all okay, as long as this is an experience that you're looking for. If you're looking for something that's a little less intense and more relaxing, I have plenty of more recordings that are deeply soothing and relaxing, and not as intense as this one. Though, if you're interested in a little hypnotic adventure, just keep on listening to my voice. Finally, if you need to get into a more comfortable position, please pause the recording and do so now. Very good. You should be comfortable and ready to follow my voice. Imagine for me that you're walking along maybe a familiar street in your town, maybe some other place, but just imagine that you're walking. When you walk, usually your mind drifts. Sometimes you might even find that your feet have taken you to a place that you haven't fully planned on going. It's as if you're on autopilot, just wandering around. While you imagine that, I want you to let this wandering mindset drift into your head. You're not really thinking of anything in particular. You're just following my words wherever they may lead you. They could lead you here or there or nowhere at all. It's not really where you're going. It's more the process of how you get there. Walking along, drifting along, letting those eyelids get heavier and heavier, imagining that I'm just counting down from 3 to 1 over and over again. Maybe at the end, I'll tell you to sleep. Maybe, just maybe, I would snap my fingers and tell you to sleep. And since you know that you're listening to a hypnotist, that would send you into a very deep trance. You can imagine this in your mind. It's very simple to imagine this. 3, 2, 1. Following that pattern to its intended place. Because really, there's a certain intention behind my words and my tone of voice. My tone of voice is guiding you someplace very deep in your mind in 3, 2, 1. Are those eyelids feeling heavy? Are they feeling as if they could just flutter shut? Well, that's okay, because you're just drifting along, imagining that you're walking along in 3, 2, 1. Maybe you could just imagine that you're breathing out as I count down from 3, 2, 1. Maybe, just maybe, you're imagining why I haven't told you to sleep in 2, 1. Maybe, just maybe, your mind is already slipping so deep into trance that you're not even wondering when you're going to sleep deeply. In 3, 2, 1. Because it seems that the anticipation of trance is already starting to pull you closer and closer to it. Maybe, just maybe, when I finally do tell you to sleep, in 3, 2, 1, you'll drop so incredibly deep, so incredibly quickly, that you won't even know that it happened. In 3, 2, 1. Everything would just melt away. In 3, 2, 1. And you would just sleep. In 3, 2, 1. Deep, deep sleep. Letting those eyes close and lock shut. Drifting and following my voice. Your perceptions are reality. You're letting go and drifting in a fantasy. Your mind is in a wandering mood, and your mind wanders along the words I say. Every single word that I say is another step down the pathway that I'm laying out for you. Another step along into an interesting fantasy, an interesting experience, something enticing, enthralling, and completely enrapturing. Just following along, imagining yourself so very clearly now in your mind as you're walking down a street. Perception is reality. You perceive yourself on this street. There are stores on either side of the street, but they all seem to be closed, except for one, a little bit further down. You're getting closer and closer to it. In 3, 2, 1. Just keep on walking, just keep on drifting. In 3, 2, 1. Letting everything else fade away. There's only this fantasy. There's only my voice. In 3, 2, 1. You are at the door of a very odd-looking establishment. In the window, you can see that there looks to be extremely lifelike mannequins on display. You wonder if this is some sort of clothing store. Well, there's only one way to find out. You open the door, and as you do, a bell rings. And from the back of the store, you hear the sound of footsteps approaching. Ah, hello there. Welcome to my establishment. Do please feel free to look around. They're quite amazing, aren't they? All of these very, very lifelike mannequins. Now, I do see that you look confused. This isn't a store. Think of it more so as a museum for my personal collection of mannequins. I know that it might come off as a little eccentric having them on display like this, but they really are quite amazing and lifelike. Here, if you follow me around, I might give you a tour. You look at the tall man standing before you. He looks friendly, though there's a certain odd air about him. Though you suppose it would be rude to deny him an opportunity to show off his personal collection of mannequins. And also, really, you were just wandering around, kind of bored. You didn't have anything really to do. So you just simply nod to the odd man as he starts leading you deeper and deeper into his personal museum. At first, you're slightly interested, though soon your eyes are glazing over as he drones on and on about each mannequin standing on its own small rotating podium. It was interesting how they were all so lifelike, but after seeing one incredibly lifelike mannequin after another, it kinda loses its novelty, though you don't see a good opportunity to try to walk away from this odd man. He just keeps on leading you deeper and deeper into his own personal museum, his own personal world, walking down row after row of mannequins. It's also starting to strike you as a little odd. This place didn't look as big as it is on the inside from the outside. You thought this was just a simple, small establishment, though it seems to be going further and further back. In fact, it seems like the whole block is taken up by this building, by this huge warehouse of extremely detailed mannequins. The man is still rambling on about each and every single detail of all the mannequins. You politely nod, but you're really starting to get bored. Each word he says seems to come in one ear and out the other. Also, there's something else a little unnerving about this place. You're not sure if it's because each mannequin is so lifelike, but you're having the strange, almost paranoid feeling that they're looking at you when your back is turned, as if their eyes are following you along while their bodies remain completely still. Though, this idea is something that you don't have much time to think about, because the man stops in front of you before a small, empty rotating platform. There's no mannequin on this platform yet. The man turns to you and says, "Well, this is the end of my collection, but not quite. This is where one of my newest pieces will go. Would you like to stand on the platform? From there, you can see my whole collection. It's really quite impressive. You get to see everything from a different angle, right there on the platform. Please stand on it now." And even though it feels odd for you to stand on this platform, you really don't want to be rude to this stranger or deny them this simple request, especially since there was a little bit of unnerving intensity in their voice. If you just do what they say, you'll just walk out of here later and not return to this strange place. There's just a feeling in the air that's slightly unsettling. You walk forward and step onto the platform. The stranger reaches out and gently places a hand on your shoulder, spinning the rotating platform around so that you're turning around, facing all of the other mannequins. Now, imagine if you were a mannequin here, standing on this platform. Now you can feel my hand on your shoulder and your arm, and you can just imagine how if you were a mannequin, your arm would become stiff and rigid, like a bar of steel. It would just be stuck there, and no matter how hard you try to move it, you could not bend your arm. Try to move your arm and find that it's impossible to move that arm. That arm is stuck in place. Isn't it interesting what the human mind is capable of? Perception is reality, after all. And you know what? I think I'm going to change my perception of what you are. I think that you look very, very impressive on that platform. I think you'll make an excellent addition to my collection because you can already feel this odd sensation of being stiff and rigid flowing through every single part of your body. It's flowing from your arm and shoulder, down your body, down to your waist, all the way to your legs. Because if your legs really did work, you'd already be running away. But you can't. You're stuck here. As you look into my eyes, you can't gaze away. All you can see are my eyes as they glow in a very, very peculiar way. It's as if my eyes are swallowing up your mind completely and totally, making it so that you're petrified here, making it so you're my new little mannequin. You're just being added to the collection. Don't worry, you won't be alone. You'll be here with all the others forever and ever and ever. Shh. It's okay. Here, just relax as I calmly and soothingly pet your head. You can't move. You can't get away. So you might as well resign yourself to the fact that you're now my little trophy, my new mannequin. You're going to stay here for as long as I like. There's nothing you can do. The strange magic that's behind my eyes has petrified you. You'll stay here for as long as I like. Though it's getting a little late, I really do need to close up shop. You should get some rest. I'll be turning out the lights soon, and you'll just be drifting off into deep, deep sleep. Hear my footsteps walking away. They slowly become fainter and fainter. You hear a click in the distance, and the lights above turn off one by one, leaving you in darkness with everybody else as you drift, sleeping, sleeping, sleeping. Shh. Now focusing on my voice and feeling a different sort of energy flowing back into you. You went through a very interesting and intense hypnotic fantasy, but now it's time to shift your perception back to reality, back to truly what's happening. I'm going to be counting from 1 to 5 in a moment. And when I reach 5, you'll wake up and open your eyes, feeling refreshed and rejuvenated, awake and alert, and knowing that you're not a mannequin stuck in some eccentric man's weird museum. No, no, no. You're going to be waking up safe and sound, exactly where you were when you started listening to this recording. You're going to feel calm and comfortable, safe and secure, because you're returning back to reality. You can remember all the details of your interesting hypnotic experience, and you can enjoy remembering the details out of trance as I count from 1 to 5. 1, slowly drifting towards wakefulness. 2, more and more. 3, slowly becoming aware of your surroundings. 4, almost there. And 5, wake up and open those eyes, feeling refreshed and rejuvenated, awake and alert, knowing that you're safe and sound. Thank you very much for listening, and happy Halloween. Really quickly, I would like to thank my Inner Spiral patrons over on Patreon. A special thank you to Tranced Mind, Corinne K, Shaggy, Gareth O, Mama Wolf Kitty 79, Yulo, Ted, Loveless85, Andrew M, Halpia, Jinx Complex, Bloodyback, Meaner Man, and Good Girl. Thank you so much for your support.